Okay, today I am tracking the further development of the anomaly known as NOC-10 and believe that NASA may have found the source of this device's origin. Now, dealing with alien technology in the past, something I have learned is that other people will be used to convince you that what you see and think is not really what it seems. When that fails, then they aggressively begin trying to pit others against you to bar you discovering what they're doing. Once you've taken down your defensive position against them is when they move in to ensure that memory involving the entire scenario is blocked from randomly being recalled. Sometimes a person has to concentrate and even experience small amounts of pain just to recollect some piece of memory as to what happened. Currently there is what seems to be a large colonization-type vessel that has been detected on the outskirts of our solar system. Recent anomalies within our communications networks and sightings of UFOs by military and civilian personnel, as well as other less spoken of events such as the emission of the 5G network towers. People across the world, especially foreign military and UN liaisons, reporting sonic technology being used as a weapon, as well as a major increase in asteroid debris from the Kepler belt that could be a sign of a foreign object not typically located in that region that is displacing random debris by its presence there.
Sensors capture a large object on a mysterious trajectory. Scientists give it an ominous name: Arwan. Whatever Arwan is, it's behaving strangely. It seems illuminated, but then it goes dark. It lights up and darkens in a precise rhythm. Scientists realize that this object is rotating.
If it's spinning once every 5.5 hours, that means the front edge is like 50 miles an hour.
So that's like something the size of the state of Delaware completing a full spin in about a quarter of a day.
Scientists expect the Kuiper Belt to be filled with objects made of rock and ice. But Arwan's spin suggests it is made of something else.
Arwan is spinning so fast that the centrifugal force could actually tear it apart. Is it made of something stronger than rock and ice?
New Horizons moves in so its sensors can get a closer look. Whatever Arwan is, we're about to find out. But at the crucial moment, the probe circuits suddenly, inexplicably go dead.
All of a sudden, transmission was cut off. It suggests that someone is monitoring our very presence.
When you're a mission operator, it's really one of the last things that you want to see. You're very concerned that there could be something seriously wrong with your spacecraft, and it's jeopardizing the mission. It does beg the question, is someone or something trying to jam NASA's signal?
Before contact is lost, scientists see that Arwan is spinning in a manner consistent with a large spaceship.
It's spinning as fast as it is, as though it's creating artificial gravity.
Spinning creates an artificial gravity environment within the hollow center of the object, like an inverted planet, with the surface on the inside rather than the outside. NASA recognizes that long-haul space travel will only be possible if we can somehow replicate gravity.
Engineers, scientists looked at concepts for artificial gravity, gigantic structures in space, spinning around, where on the outer edges you had forests, you had cities.
Scale of Arwan. What's more, whatever kind of creature might be inside Arwan, it's unlikely that they're anything like us.
If Arwan is a spacecraft, why is it spinning so slowly? Could it be that what is living on it is not human-like? Could it be that what's on it is not a creature that needs artificial gravity the way that we do?
Alien beings able to operate in a gravity environment as low as this would look very different to us.
It will be a very different body, more like a blob with some tentacles.
So you could have something like your vital organs, the brain, everything's kind of centrally located, and then just squid tentacles, almost like a sea urchin.
And there's good reason for the Arwanites to skulk in the Kuiper Belt, far from the nearest planet.
Given that there are trillions of objects out there in the Kuiper Belt, and they're too far away and too dark for us to really see, if you were an alien that wanted to set up an observation post to study these funky creatures called humans on Earth, that'd be a pretty good place to set it up.
If you're a zero-gravity life form, you want to skirt very cautiously around the planetary zone. Suddenly, places like Earth have become a danger zone, a veritable black hole.
If they tried to walk around on Earth's surface, they would just get mushed. It would not be a good place for them.
As the New Horizons probe moves away from R1, it spookily flickers back to life. Whatever happened to New Horizons computers, it prevented NASA from finding out the truth about the intriguing spinning object. The origin and nature of R1 remains a mystery.
Now the sound of the description of this possible craft on our outskirts, by the gravitational force that its rotation artificially produces, places the possible life that may be on board to be that of some tentacle-like creatures with a centralized point of gravity and main organs with tentacle-like extensions for limbs. This narrows down the possibilities of species drastically to be that of these guys you see here on the screen. I call them squid face guys. The name, when translated to English terms, would be Pollux. They come from the constellation of Orion from the Horsehead Nebula cluster, which is also called the Pillars of Creation. Their home system cannot be detected as the entire system is cloaked under the receptive observation to be that of a wandering nebula cloud to blend in with the rest of the region around them. This area is a major star nursery or a central region where many stars are first formed. This species is most notable for their technology of Dyson sphere structures, as they have taken their home world's position that is so close to this large star nursery and have used their observations to adapt a technology that can harness the energy of stellar formations into a usable energy source. In fact, your scientists have recently been observing one of their Dyson sphere structures known as Tabastar that fluctuates in its processing function that breaks down the energy of multiple types into a singular energy byproduct. I had sent them a distress signal because this system also is a Dyson sphere structure that collects a massive amount of energy every 32,650 years when our system passes closely by a remnant galaxy known as Antilles II. They were more or less contracted by the designers of Earth and allowed its development within their restricted zones to keep their project safe. I should not say too much more than that, as it seems that you all have had a hard enough time accepting what I've told you all so far. Then there is the anomaly of Not 10 that I am sure is an interstellar scout vessel and of Osirian technology because of the machinations of how it gathers its information. I suspect also that this object may be in control of the control signal that is maintaining the manipulation frequency that alters our neurosynaptic signals, but I do not think it is the source of the signal itself. As you'll see if you notice from an outward perspective of these Noctan clips that we've been uploading to YouTube for some time now, it is gathering information on mankind's technological capabilities, our habits and so on, that compacts the information into this squelch you see here on the screen to be transmitted back to the main scout vessel or its signals relay point, as it basically is a reconnaissance scout that allows them to be informed enough to do as they did in the Tic Tac scenario. That was a show that they knew our weak points by allowing themselves to be detected and then dropping down below our radar's ability to detect them. However, I do not see the two being connected to the Dyson Sphere makers, as this would go against everything that would be expected considering they've known about us since before we even first existed, so why wait until now to invade us? Else there is the cloaked object that still has not yet arrived, traveling at light speed and slowly decelerating as it is approaching our region of space. That could be an invasion force. One must remember when observing objects traveling at such speeds, the timescale of their actual arrival time will be distorted due to the time dilation theory. Another aspect to remember is to notice there always is the focus on not leaving any evidence to their presence here. This region being under the jurisdiction of the Squid Faces is most likely the reason for that, and they should be more like our big brothers and protectors, or should come off as such, so any other approach would be grounds for suspicion. Just something to keep in mind before initial contact, that most likely will come in the form of someone who has been abducted or possibly one of their clone greys like Mr. S. One last aspect I wish to point out is that it is true, as far as I have observed, that they cannot land and interact on our world without heavy atmospheric protective gear, as the very air they breathe and exhale could have severe biological effects on both us and them, as their air they need to breathe and what to exhale are foreign particles to our atmosphere and may cause previously unknown mutations to the bacteria already present on our world. For that reason I say to expect someone who has been abducted or one of their clone grey species that was designed for these types of interspecies communications functions to appear for initial contact.